Welcome to the 44th lesson of SmartKnitter Knit Instructions Level 2. In this lesson, we will demonstrate how to edit Intarsia files when the parts are not linked properly. Let's look at the first example. Here, we have an Intarsia character in the middle of the panel. Translate the original file. We can see that feeders 3, 4, and 5 are not linked by tucks at the transitions. Return to feeder setup. Right-click on feeder 5, uncheck the partial knit feeder property, and translate again. We can now see the knitted areas of the 3 feeders are linked with tucks. Let's look at another example with Intarsia at the shoulder. We can see there is no linking at the shoulder. This is also due to the partial knit feeder property set on zone 5 feeder 4. Uncheck this and translate again. Now the shoulders are linked together. Let's look at example 3, which is 3-color Intarsia. Translate the original file. We can see feeders 4 and 5 are not linked by tucks above the neckline. Return to Smart Graph and switch to zone mode. Assign a new distinct zone to this part of zone 4 next to zone 2. Go to feeder setup. A new feeder icon appears. Drag it to the slot with zone 5 feeder, as they are using the same yarn. Check the partial knit feeder property of the new feeder. Translate again. Adjacent feeder zones with the same partial knit feeder property set will have tucks generated automatically. Same setting means either both have the property checked or both unchecked. Let's look at another file with Intarsia. We can see that there are zones set up. Upon translation, we see that after defining the neckline, the panel is not knitted in Intarsia setting. The zones instead are knitted independently as partial knitting short rows. Return to feeder setup. The partial knit feeder in zone 2 should not share the same slot as the Intarsia feeders, as this causes errors. Drag the zone 2 feeder symbol to a separate feeder slot. Translate again, and we can now see the panel is knitted correctly. Let's look at another Intarsia panel. Upon translation, we can see that there is no linking between feeders 1 and 2, but feeders 2 and 3 are linked. Go to feeder setup. As we have borrowed feeder 1, which is a Revel yarn feeder, to knit part of the body portion, we need to uncheck the RY, Revel yarn, property and feeder setup. Uncheck the option and translate again. We can see the problem is resolved. Let's look at the last example, which is two-color Intarsia. We can see some of the rows are not linked in the panel after translation. Return to SmartGraph. We need to fix the partial knitting direction of the shoulder. Select the part on the left as shown. Move it down by one row from the top. Change the color to match the original panel. Check the zone setup. In translation settings, remember to check the option, Allow lock yarn every other revolution during Intarsia. Translate again. Now the Intarsia is linked throughout the entire panel. This marks the end of this tutorial. Thank you for watching.